So here we are, we're about to go in after some snakehead babies. And so what actually happens is the snakehead, when they have their young, they look after them for about 2 or 3 months, and they go around the lake and they fend off other fish from them and to protect them. It's quite cool. And it's quite possible to catch these fish, and they're usually the bigger fish. Sometimes they're in more open water. It's generally an easier shot. Sometimes it's a little bit longer for the shot. They come up when they take air. They come up for a little bit longer. You can see them there, right in the middle of the frame. That's the babies coming up, and you wait for the adult to come up, one or the other adult, preferably the bigger one, to come up, and then the idea is to put the fly about 1/2 meter in front of its nose. Sometimes you want it a little bit further away, sometimes a little bit closer. It depends on conditions. And you must let them, they must come up and take a mouthful of air and then turn down before you make your shot. Because if you're moving as they're coming up, they will spook. So they take the mouthful of air and turn down. And it's no good just casting around the babies because they'll spook. And if you cast by accident, if you were to cast your fly into the babies, which can happen, do nothing. Just pretend nothing ever happened, and you might get a shot. The next time they come up, the adults don't rise with the babies every single time. Sometimes it's every 4th or 5th time. Depends how much oxygen in the water. Snakehead are a lungfish, so that sort of dates them back. The lungs are what developed into the swim bladder. So if you believe in evolution, if you're a creationist, you'll have a bit of a problem there. So we've established the direction. They're sort of going right to left here. They're going between the stumps. Often the snakehead will come up around the stumps, all the babies. And it's all about to happen.
Yeah!
Wow. See that again. Just see the adult there. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Don't strike, don't strip sight, strike, don't trout set. It's like a muddler with trout, you just keep retrieving. Now, the interesting thing was, the last time I posted one of these videos, somebody said, "You're doing it all wrong." They said the rod is apparently designed to be fighting fish at 90 degrees angle, and what about the drag on the reel? Well, it's a little bit silly. You haven't got enough time to get all the line on the reel. By the time you put the line on the reel, the fish is in the snag. You can see how many snags are around there, and that's just really a glimpse of what's underneath. And as for the angle of the rod, this is very interesting because we've studied this a little bit, and we've taken electronic spring balances like the luggage scales, and we've attached them to the end of the line. And I've got people with 8, 9, 10 weight rods to bend it to the point where they think it's going to explode. So more force than they would normally put on. Obviously I don't want them to explode the rod, but so just a little bit under that, and they're putting a huge bend in it. And then we measure the force at the fly at the end of the line. And at 90 degrees, the force at the fly is 1.5 pounds. At 45 degrees, which is more of a saltwater fighting, it goes up to about 7 or 8 pounds. Now, neither of those are enough to stop a snakehead in its tracks. With the sort of tackle we've got here, I've measured pulls realistically up to about 10 kilos. And that's how to keep these big fish out of the snags. Obviously, when the fish is doing what you want at the surface, you don't apply that sort of force. It's a stopping force. This has been beautifully done up to this point. And now I think I need a bigger net. Brilliant.
Wow, it's huge.
As Tanya saying, huge fish. Yes. Small net. Actually, the net's not that small. There we go. And now we'll swim into the net. There we go. Nice.
Well done, mate.
Great shirt I'm wearing. Woohoo! Now, Anita Strand from Norway said, on Facebook, said, what an ugly fish. She said, one fucking ugly fish. Well, I tell you, you've got to have a bit of a closer look. Look at the beauty of those scales. Anybody who thinks that's an ugly fish is either colourblind or was dropped on their head as a baby. Staying on the subject of ugly, good friend of mine, Graham from Perth, is visiting. Graham did really exceptionally well. First week he didn't catch any fish, but after that he had 4 snakehead. And look at the colours on that one. That's a beautiful fish. That was a free riser that he caught. And he had a couple of lovely fish off babies. Look at that fish there. That one doesn't really count. And maybe he had only 3 fish. And that's a plonker. That's a beautiful fish.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Woo!
Oh yeah, let's see that again.
These are our fruits.
This should be interesting. Paul's been recommending them. Ooh.
Oh yeah, and Tony was over. Didn't practice his casting before he came. Didn't take it serious enough. Took him 2 weeks, and on the last day, it all came together. Look at that smile. It's a smile of relief.